Thumb. Once upon a time, there was a family of woodcutters, mother, father, and 7 children. They were very poor. The children and their father had to go deep into the dangerous woods each day to gather berries and nuts to eat. The youngest son was so small that they called him Thumb, and he was very clever. One day, when they went into the forest to gather food, the children realized that they were lost. "What shall we do?" they said tearfully. But Tom reassured them. "Look," he said, "I've dropped pebbles all along the way we've come. They'll help us to find our way home." Tom's mother was delighted to see her children again, but they needed to find some food for their next meal. "We will have to go into the woods again," said the children. Next morning, their mother gave the children the last of the bread. Thumb, who was the last out of the house, broke his crust into little crumbs, which he scattered along the path. Unfortunately, when they tried to find their way back, they couldn't because the birds had eaten all the crumbs. There was nothing else they could do, and as darkness fell, they were very frightened. Thumb climbed up a tree and saw a light in the distance. "There's a house," he cried. "Let's go there." So they all went to the little house, and a woman came to the door. "You'd better not come in," she said. "My husband is a wicked ogre." "We don't mind," said the children. "We are more afraid of the wolf outside." So they went in, and the woman gave them something to eat and hid them in a big bed. "Smell fresh meat," roared the ogre. When he returned, the ogre had 7 little daughters who were sleeping in the next bed to the one occupied by the brothers. Each had a gold crown on their head. Thumb took off the caps of his brothers and his and exchanged it with the crowns. At dawn, the ogre crept into the bedroom, felt for the heads that wore caps, and put all the children into a big sack ready for his dinner that night. "We must escape," said Thumb. So they knotted together their sheets, making rope, which they let down the window. They climbed down, and then they took to their heels. The ogre's wife found all her daughters and left forever. The ogre, who was furious that he had been outwitted by a child, wore his magic boots and set out in search of the children. Eventually, he rested on a rock where the 7 children were hiding, and he fell asleep. Thumb crept up and took off with the ogre's 7-league boots and put them on himself. Then, holding his brother's hands, he hurried off as fast as possible to get away from the ogre. Thanks to his plan, the children were soon home, where they were greeted with joy by their parents. "You need not worry," said Thumb. "Now I have these 7-league boots. I'll get a job as a messenger boy, and we'll never be poor again."